Airbag is a song about a person surviving a car crash thanks to the titular airbag, feeling rejuvenated and gaining a whole new view on themselves thanks to this crash that they luckily survived. The person in the crash, who we'll call Tom, views this crash as a rebirth and decides to go and save the universe, although it's never explained what from. The car crash that takes a focus on Airbag is likely related to a real car crash the real Tom was in about a decade before the song was originally written. That crash was probably a formative moment, since a lot of Radiohead's other car-related songs, like Killer Cars, tie into the danger that cars can have. The song also shows a fear of how technology can get you killed as people barrel down the road in metal boxes on wheels travelling at 70 miles per hour. But the song is also about how technology saves us, the airbag that saved his life. You could view that irony as being what the song's about. The irony of how humans are slowly just becoming passengers of technology, pun intended. How we die, but also how we live, is becoming dictated by technology made and designed by people we'll never meet. Maybe that's the universe Tom is going to save us from. This feeling of being a saviour that Tom talks about could be a jab at God and fate. Even though he nearly died, he survived, and that elation from surviving makes him feel above those higher powers. Or it's more of a metaphor for the feeling of surviving a car crash. It's so difficult to describe what surviving an incident like that would be like, so Tom uses that feeling as the best descriptor he can think of. Airbag is the first song in the 1997 Radiohead album OK Computer, my personal favourite album of all time. The themes of OK Computer I'm going to talk about in this long ass video are themes that have aged brilliantly. The themes of social conformity and the terrifying evolution of technology have become even more relevant nowadays than they were when the album was released, almost 2.5 decades ago. All themes that we're going to cover in this video. But before I go into the second song of the album, Paranoid Android, I want to mention jschlatts' original tribute to OK Computer. If it wasn't for those few original videos he made, I wouldn't have even found Radiohead at all. I'm going to link that whole original series in the description. It's absolutely brilliant, and even though I've taken some points from those original videos, those 15 minutes of him covering the first 3 songs are still some of the best content on all of YouTube. So yeah, those will absolutely be linked in the description. I highly recommend you check them out. It's way better than the shit you're about to watch. Paranoid Android is a song about a man who is too smart for his own good. The chorus asking what's there before being replied with "I may be paranoid but at least I'm not an android" is ironic considering the line about being paranoid but not an android is said in an auto-generated text-to-speech voice. The song continues talking about the kicking and screaming little piggies who buy into capitalism, who Tom views as beneath him, by talking about them as if they were just livestock or androids even. Tom continues this view of being above normal people by mentioning how when he is king, they will be first thrown against a wall, and later in the song, "Off of his head, man, off of his head." "The people I saw that night were just like demons from another planet" is a quote from Tom about part of the inspiration for Paranoid Android, the song stemming from an experience at a bar Tom had. "Everyone was trying to get something out of me," explains his paranoia that permeates throughout the whole song. The song's final lyrics are, in my opinion, a final denial of becoming a pig, of becoming an android. This final verse could be interpreted as a million things if you take the music video for the song into account. The line, "That's it, so you're leaving," could be Tom or one of his friends being fed at the bar. The panic, the vomit could also be related to the bar. The crackle of pigskin could be showing how Tom's hatred of the pigs he mentioned earlier became violent. The "he's networking on me" could be related to fake friendships, are they there for financial or political gain? The final moments of the song are a jab at God, which ties back into Airbag and how Tom perceived himself as a saviour in that song. God loves his children in a rather apathetic and sarcastic yeah he does. That's why he kills them. After those final lyrics is a minute-long guitar solo, probably symbolising violence in some way, hinting at how maybe Tom's hatred of normal people became volatile. Maybe his lack of conformity caused his own downfall. Subterranean Homesick Alien is an incredibly existential song that on paper appears to be an observation of space and how aliens might see us. but in my opinion the song is about the way people interact with each other. Tom uses this idea that aliens would find us entertaining, the way humans are obsessed with gossip and secrets, and how we don't show others who we really are because we're scared that who we really are isn't socially acceptable, so we hide who we are from other people and pretend to be someone else, someone more appealing than who we are. We're all so uptight. Tom talks about wishing to be abducted in the second verse. Tom wants to view the world in a way that isn't true, and he believes he can see that version of the world from the perspective of a spaceship. Tom goes on about how his friends would think this vision is insane, but that he would be alright. The final chorus of the song becomes even more existential, as the whole song are Tom's thoughts on the dream of being taken into the stars by aliens and how he hides his dream for his friends is just as uptight as he was mocking earlier in the song. Subterranean Homesick Alien is a song that doesn't need too much of a deep dive. All of its meanings and themes are in the lyrics. You don't need to look into Tom's life or a music video to understand the existential meaning of it. The song continues the trend of the previous two songs and how Tom is special and unique in some way, different to everyone else. In Airbag it was a savior of the universe status, in Paranoid Android it was a superiority complex. And here it was him standing on his own with a dream he didn't think anyone else would appreciate. Exit music for a film is an incredibly strange song on OK Computer. The song was originally written for a 1996 movie adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, and the song doesn't mention any kind of higher power, unlike any other song in the album. The song's lyrics paint a picture of two people, who I'll call Romeo and Juliet because it makes sense, packing their bags and running away, which as everyone knows isn't exactly how the story goes. Exit music for a film is a song about rewriting fate. The song actually ends with Romeo and Juliet running away. This is Tom rewriting this story. In an interview, Tom said, "I just couldn't believe why Romeo and Juliet didn't run away together." Tom wishes things had played out differently. He rewrites that ending in this song. They run away, they don't die, and they live happily ever after. The line, "You can laugh your spineless laugh," showing how people laugh at Tom wanting this ending to change, could be related to how people hold Romeo and Juliet and other Shakespeare's works like Macbeth to such reverence, to a point where people overlook the flaws in his work and just perceive it as perfect. Tom's response to this, "We hope your rules and wisdom choke you," could be a jab from Tom at the people who disagree with his choice, but also could be from Romeo and Juliet to the families they're escaping from. I think that in the bigger context of the album, the main focus of almost every song would love to have fate rewritten, to say no to what fate gives them and have the ability to do whatever they want without consequence. In Subterranean Homesick Alien, it would probably be for everyone to be themselves, not be afraid of who you are because it isn't socially acceptable. In Paranoid Android, it would be to live in a world where he didn't look down on everyone, for there not to be all of these androids surrounding him, etc, etc. And it's something that will connect to the characters we see throughout the rest of the album. All of them want fate to change in some way. Let Down is a song that focuses on being let down. I know, big shocker there, but I'm going to be skipping over it in this video, since all of the ideas it brings up are brought up by other songs in the album, so I've already previously mentioned its themes, or I'll be mentioning more of its themes later, so I'm mostly skipping over it. This doesn't mean the song is bad, it has brilliant lyrics, and it's just as good a song as every other song in the album, if not better than most, but I don't want to repeat myself too much in this video. A Car Police is a song about social conformity. The narrator of the song, who I'm going to again call Tom for the sake of consistency, holds everyone he meets to a certain standard in his head. He doesn't find the man who talks in maths or the girl with the hit the hairdo to be at that standard, which ties back into the superiority complex of Paranoid Android. The following chorus shows that this is what you'll get when you mess with us, implying that the people the Car Police arrest, those who buzz like a fridge, are viewed as messing with Tom. Despite the bits of evidence pointing otherwise, I think that Camera Police is actually talking from the opposite perspective to what we've seen for the rest of the album before this. It's talking from the perspective of those who force others into conformity, who aren't allowed to talk differently or have different haircuts because it's different. The song could be an evolution of the Tom that we see in Paranoid Android. Now his hatred of those below him has made him hostile towards anyone who isn't like him. Although the outro of the song, where Tom repeats for a minute there, "I lost myself," could mean the whole song was a fleeting thought. It could represent a struggle to conform, where Tom might be struggling to keep his own individuality. The song shows why the world Tom speaks of wanting in Subterranean Homesick Alien wouldn't work. There would always be people like the Camera Police who want people to conform and not be different from each other. The song ends with a repeating harsh electric rhythm that overpowers and drowns out the drums and guitar of the song, which could represent losing that battle. which makes sense considering the next song.
Better, happier, more productive, comfortable. Not
Fitter Happier is my
drinking too
favourite
much.
song in the whole album from a directorial perspective. The song is about living a perfect life. The song's lyrics list the life of someone who is fitter, happier and more productive, comfortable and not drinking too much. The whole song ties back to Paranoid Android, showing what Tom feared in that song. A patient driver, a safer driver ties back to Airbag and the other transportation-based songs in Radiohead's discography. The song lists the perfect life, the life of a perfect person with a perfect attitude, doesn't flush spiders down the plug hole, they keep in contact with old friends and they sleep well. I know what you're thinking, right? Obviously the spoken auto-generated voice makes it represent robots, right? But the song actively tries to dismiss that. How can they be a robot if they still cry at a good film? They're like cats, they still kiss with saliva. But eventually the song gives up on trying to keep up that illusion and compares humanity not to robots but to pigs, to livestock, again tying back to Planet Android, because this is what we do to our livestock. We fill them with antibiotics, we make sure they don't drink too much, and even if they're concerned about their current state, they're still absolutely powerless. I decided not to talk about electioneering in this video, since while it does tie into the album as a whole as similar ways of Planet Android, I decided to skip it since it does reference a lot of real life political events. I don't think a 16-year-old boy making videos in his closet should really give an uneducated opinion on the issues of the time. It's an amazing song, but I just don't feel qualified enough to talk about it. And those are similar reasons to why I skipped Climbing Up the Walls. This is a song about breaking and entering, and an assault that is implied to escalate into sexual assault. And I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to talk about that. I don't feel like I can touch such heavy subject matter that is much more real than the conceptual fear and existential issues brought up for the rest of the album in my dumb video essay that I'm literally recording while being surrounded by egg boxes and Coke cans in my closet. Is it a great song? Yes, but I'm not qualified enough to talk about it. Then we reach No Surprises, the song literally everyone knows from this album, and it's for good reason. The song is masterful, not a lyric is wasted, and even the way the song is composed lines up perfectly with the tone of the lyrics. Rather than the composition being a juxtaposition or a vehicle for the lyrics, in No Surprises the lyrics and the composition work in perfect tandem. The song is a giant metaphor for how we let ourselves be ignorant to a world that slowly kills us, using carbon monoxide poisoning as the main point of reference. Tom just wants to let himself die to this poisoning. He doesn't want an alarm to go off, he doesn't want someone saving him. Such a pretty house and such a pretty garden could reference a heaven that Tom wants to go to, another reference to higher powers. The job that slowly kills you could be another reference to fitter, happier. And as the final chorus repeats no alarms and no surprises, in the background Let Me Out of Here is repeated. Tom wants to escape from this world, he's done trying to change it, he doesn't want to accept it, he just wants to be free of it. He sees other people looking so tired and unhappy, with bruises that won't heal, probably meaning the toll jobs can have on people, where you expect to do a certain thing, get paid and fuck off. No room to worry about the mental health of employees or students. I know it's definitely stretching this last part and inserting my own experiences into it, but I definitely think it still applies. Each chorus ends differently, the first one ending with silence before Tom has his final fit in the second verse, and he begs for there to be no alarms and no surprises. And then, Tom dies. At least that's what I think. Given the vision of his personal heaven with the pretty house and the pretty garden, I think he's finally been let out of here. Lucky was the starting point for what would become OK Computer. As parts of everything that's part of OK Computer. In the context of the album, I think is to look back on the themes of OK Computer. Lines like "It's Gonna Be a Glorious Day" and "Your Superhero" are more of that higher power, tying back to so many songs in this album. I think the song is also another big show of how Tom's life isn't in his own hands but in the hands of technology, saved by an air crash, saved from drowning in a lake, maybe by technology. You could say that Tom is incredibly lucky, maybe it's even a superpower. Maybe that's what this glorious day is, not a tie back to other songs but Tom realising he's a superhero. Maybe the song is instead of Tom denying the world around him like every other song in the album, but accepting it, accepting the luck, accepting the technology. Either way, he's standing on the edge. So, unfortunately, that's where this video is going to end. I had a whole bit for the tourist that I recorded and edited, but it basically just boiled down to the imagery shows that Tom feels alienated from the environment that he's in, which is covered in other songs. It's throughout the whole album. The tourist is just it's more of a recounting of everything. I couldn't get anything substantial enough to make it worth its own section. So, for all intents and purposes, this is the end of the video. I want to thank jschlatts again. jschlatts is an amazing comfort streamer, except he is not comforting. He does not ever fucking stream, but it's still a phenomenal video essay series. If he doesn't do those anymore, and they'll be linked in the description, obviously. And if this video is recent when you're watching this, and it's been my latest upload, I want to explain because I'm going on a break, just a bit of a break, because I'm lost, like, I guess it's burnout or something like that. I don't feel passionate about the other scripts that I have, and I have a ton of scripts. I've got a script on Eno, I've got a script on Pokemon, I've got a script on I've got all sorts. I'm just not feeling passionate about it right now, and this video was really hard to force myself to get out the door, probably because of personal shit. And also, I have less time to work on videos than I ever have. I've got a job, I prepare for college, there's this stupid NCS thing I've been signed up for. It doesn't make sense to me, but it'll look good on my CV or something. But yeah, I just don't have time to work on the channel as much as I wanted to work on it, so... And I don't want this channel to just be video essays, but that's all I've got time to work on. So the plan is, during this break, I'll work on other ideas that I've had. I've got tons of them, I just haven't been able to work on them because I haven't had time to be working on videos like this. So, I'm going to take a break, I'll just work on new things. Don't know if any of them will ever get out. I've made probably more videos have been cancelled than have been made on this channel. But I just want to, try, because I haven't had time to try, and that's the whole point of the channel. The point of the channel is not to be a video essay channel. I don't want to be White Light. I don't want to be High Top Films. I want to make a variety of media. Even if that media is about other media, I just want to make media on this channel, whether that be short films or AMVs or video essays or, I don't know, hypothetical films that I'm never going to make but want to throw my ideas out there. Or, hell, I might do some gameplay videos. I've been, streaming Chrono Trigger on my Twitch, Chrono Trigger Nuzlocke, and that's got enough content that I could... If I wanted to, I could make a video out of it. But yeah, so that's why there aren't going to be any videos for definitely the rest of this month, maybe some of next month. I don't know, we'll see how I feel closer to the time. In the meantime, though, if you want more video essay content, I'm going to link to creators, maybe some more, but right now the ones I have in mind are Funk, who does amazingly well written video essays on games. You probably know him, he's blown up. He's got almost 1 million, I think, subscribers, something like that. If not, I don't know. I don't keep track of subscriber counts on anything apart from me because that's how I work. And he does amazing content. It's really watchable. I watch at least one of his videos a day, even though he doesn't have 300 videos or anything. I've watched a ton of his videos. I watch at least one a day, and I'll probably link Go Jesus, who I've mentioned on the channel before, just because I've mentioned it on the channel before, and they're good, and they do more like anime stuff, which is what I've done more of. So yeah, I'll link that in the script. I'll link them both in the description. Anyone else I think of also will link. For the Subterranean Homesick Alien, I used footage of, I think it was called Orbit, a series called Orbit on YouTube. I'll link that in the description because it is an amazing little series that just shows how amazing the planet is. They'll be linked in the description because my shitty OBS screen capture and then being decompressed by YouTube, it won't do how amazing those photos look justice. So that'll be linked. That'll be about it though. Thank you for all the support. I got 70 subscribers recently because I've been plugging my channel everywhere at school prom, which went to shit after, but at least I got some subscribers out of it. So yeah, that's the reason why there won't be any content for a bit. Appreciate you watching. If I haven't already shown the sources while editing, I'll show the sources of where all the footage comes from because they're all, like, I've taken it all from places that I want. Like Sub Rosa's a good game, Jalopy's a good game. That series that I mentioned was Subterranean Homesick Alien, the actual music videos for the songs, like it's all, check out OK Computer. It's a brilliant album. I haven't listened to the remaster because I've been spending so much time working on this. But hopefully, when I come back, I'll come back with something new, or at least improving what I've got, because I want to make good content. Right now, I feel like I'm making passable content that like barely fits the definition. Like whenever I mention video essays, I do it in quotation marks because I don't really know if they count. That's why I call them needlessly long rants rather than video essays. But hopefully I'll actually be able to make content that I'm proud of. Hopefully. Probably not. This is me we're talking about. But that's the plan. So, yeah. See you in a month, maybe 2 months. If not, see you when I see you. Thank you for watching and thank you for all the support.